Welcome to Room Debrief, a series designed to deepen your comic book knowledge and inspire you to dive into the source material of some of our favorite movies and TV shows. I'm Reinking. Today we're highlighting Kamala Khan of the Ms. Marvel comic books, the upcoming Disney Plus series, and the Marvel's Avengers video game from Crystal Dynamics. Now, Kamala is a teenage Pakistani American and the first Muslim character to headline her own comic. She is first seen in the background of a scene in Captain Marvel number 14 in August of 2013. Here she is witnessing Carol Danvers' take on Yon-Rogg. Then she headlined her own solo series, Ms. Marvel, in February of 2014. The first volume of Ms. Marvel won the Hugo Award for Best Graphic Story in 2015. Kamala Khan was inspired by creator Sana Amanat's personal experience growing up as a Muslim American. The concept came about during a conversation between Amanat and fellow Marvel editor Stephen Wacker and writer G. Willow Wilson, as she expressed, quote, a desire to explore the Muslim American diaspora from an authentic perspective, end quote. It's about, quote, redefining yourself, finding who you are on your own terms, and not listening to other people's definitions, labels, and categories you belong to. Sana Amanat, by the way, is also co-host of the Women of Marvel podcast, which is just awesome, so check it out. Kamala is from Jersey City, New Jersey, right across the Hudson River from Manhattan. Jersey City sits in the shadow of Manhattan and is often jokingly called the sixth borough. It's a wonderful parallel to Khan's character and journey as a second-string hero from a second-string city. Now, Kamala is a nerd. She's a serious fangirl. She draws and writes fan fiction online about her favorite superheroes, including the Avengers, Wolverine, Storm, Cyclops, and her favorite, Carol Danvers. She's essentially all of us if we were to suddenly get superpowers and get to fight crime alongside our favorite heroes. Now, speaking of gaining powers, I want to talk a second about Kamala Khan, because she is an Inhuman. Now, Inhumans are altered human beings, the result of genetic experiments the Kree did on ancient humans. They sort of programmed into human genetic code the potential to develop superhuman abilities through a process known as pterogenesis. This is activated by exposure to the mist of pterogen crystals. The goal was to potentially create a race of super soldiers to use against the Skrull in their war, and these experiments were done all over the universe, not just Earth. Kamala is exposed to pterogen mists when they are released over the New York and New Jersey area, and she develops her powers. Kamala is a polymorph. She can change her shape, change her size, and accelerate healing. Basically, she's a combination of Reed Richards, Mystique, and Hank Pym. She can grow to large sizes, usually while saying her famous line, "Embiggen," but she can also shrink like Ant-Man. She can shapeshift into other people, though we've only seen her transform into Carol Danvers and her mother so far. She can also heal when she changes back to her base form. However, this does drain her energy, and the more she heals herself from injury, the less she can change shape. Her costume is inspired by both the original Carol Danvers costume as Ms. Marvel and a burkini, a kind of modesty swimsuit for women, to represent her cultural identity without wearing a hijab. When she first gained her abilities and fought crime, she actually appeared as Carol Danvers, since she was the idea Kamala had of what a hero should be and look like. But she quickly realized that the things she thought would make her feel strong and powerful, like beautiful hair, amazing boots, were not what they appeared. As you can see here, she says the hair gets in her face, the boots pinch, and the leotard gives her an epic wedgie. What made her feel powerful was saving someone's life. And she realizes anyone can be Ms. Marvel, even Kamala Khan. Kamala Khan has been known to team up with other characters as well, like Wolverine, Spider-Man, and of course the inevitable team up with Captain Marvel herself. It's a beautiful bit of symbolism. Carol Danvers was one of the first Marvel female characters to headline her own solo comic. In a way, this team-up passes the torch to a new character for a new generation of readers. Kamala Khan has also appeared as a member of teams like the all-new, all-different Avengers, Champions, Secret Warriors, Protectors, Mighty Avengers, and the Avengers. Romantically, Kamala has been previously connected to her brilliant childhood best friend Bruno. The relationship fell apart though, unable to bridge the gap between her superhero life and putting him at risk, sort of similar to Peter Parker and Mary Jane. Lately, there are a couple of other possible connections with her Champions teammate and very close friend Miles Morales, Nova, and also Red Dagger. We've also seen her in the Avengers Assemble cartoon, the anime series Marvel Future Avengers, an episode of the Spider-Man cartoon, and the Marvel Rising series, and Marvel Rising Secret Warriors, alongside her best friend Squirrel Girl, Gwen Stacy, Inferno, America Chavez, Quake, and Patriot. Coming up, we know we're going to meet Kamala Khan in the upcoming Disney Plus series, Ms. Marvel, which is a perfect way to introduce her character. After all, television is sort of the Jersey City to film's Manhattan, but don't expect her to stay confined to Disney Plus. Kevin Feige has stated that he has plans for Khan to appear in future MCU films after her introduction on Disney Plus. Now, it has even been recently rumored that we might see Kamala Khan in the MCU a little earlier than that, because she might make her first appearance as a cameo in Captain Marvel 2, which personally I am such a fan of, because it calls back to her origin in the comics, making a quick little appearance in Captain Marvel before getting her own series as well. Now, personally, I also think it would be great to see some of those other big-name superheroes make cameos in the Ms. Marvel series on Disney Plus as well, if only just to have the joy of getting to see her geek out over meeting her favorite heroes. Now, Marvel is also teaming up with a real theoretical physicist, Clifford Johnson, on Ms. Marvel. He previously assisted on Thor Ragnarok, Avengers Infinity War, and Endgame. Basically, he will be helping them explain how she shapeshifts to make it as scientifically accurate as possible. After all, it is impossible to create and eliminate more matter out of thin air, right? Well, in the comics, Kamala can access the multiverse and borrow matter from infinite other past and future versions of herself. Teaming up with Clifford Johnson implies we will see this fleshed out a little bit more in the Disney Plus series, rooting these abilities in scientific theory. Now, Kamala ties together so many of the storylines already introduced in the MCU, from time travel to the multiverse, even the Kree-Skrull War. And while we don't yet know what direction Marvel Studios is going to take with this character or how detailed they'll get in her origin story, it is a little hard to believe that they're not going to string together the elements that have already been introduced in past and planned movies as well. We now also get to see her in action already in Marvel's Avengers video game from Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal, published by Square Enix. She is a central focus to this game. We see a character true to the comics, though her origin story is a little different. Here she gains her powers on A-Day. She's there that day because her fan fiction comic is selected as part of the Avengers celebration. No spoilers, but during the accident you already saw in the trailer, she is exposed to Terrigen gas and is now an Inhuman. She believes the Avengers were set up by AIM, Advanced Idea Mechanics, on A-Day, and she is the unifier that brings the team back together. We've been playing this game ourselves and we're having an amazing time, and we'll also be doing it on Twitch, so if you're curious or want to join us sometime, be sure to check it out. This isn't the only video game Kamala Khan is a playable character for. She's also in games like Marvel Puzzle Quest, Lego Marvel's Avengers, Marvel Future Fight, Contest of Champions, Strike Force, and Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order, to name a few. As one of Marvel's newer characters, she's become extremely popular for good reason. Her comics are hilarious and engaging, and not to mention the representation she adds for people of color and young women. She's become a cultural icon. It will be exciting to see her join the MCU. I encourage you to read her story for yourselves. The obvious place to start is Ms. Marvel #1. Now, I know it can be a little overwhelming to try to figure out where to start, but they've done an amazing job compiling the existing comics so far in these wonderful compilation books. I will have the links for all of them down below with my sources for this episode. But another thing I'd like to make you aware of is a option called Marvel Unlimited, which grants you digital access to all of Marvel comics, and it's only $10 a month. So that is also a great option, especially in these weird economic times that we're living in right now. So if money is tight and you can't just run to your local comic book shop, or don't feel like running to Amazon to order a bunch of books, check out Marvel Unlimited as well. Before we go, it is time to unveil a piece of Dan Tybault original artwork for Kamala Khan. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, are there any other characters or storylines that you would like to know more about? Please let us know in the comments. And of course, like and subscribe so you can keep up with us here at Let's Get Theorious. See you next time.